Hi guys, so I'm back. Who would have thought? Welcome if you're new. I certainly didn't expect to be here, but probably neither did anybody else, so there we go. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit about different kinds of meditation. If you haven't seen my last video and you like this one, maybe go back and see because it does tell you what I'm kind of going to be doing here. Meditations, there are two sort of main different categories as far as I can sort of see it, and that is self-directed versus guided meditation, right? So a guided meditation kind of says it in the name, somebody else is guiding you through it, telling you what to do, how to think. They might leave you for a little bit, but they might talk you through the whole thing, you never know. Or there's the kind where you do it completely by yourself. Now, the first kind of meditation that I ever heard of was a self-guided meditation. And to be honest, it's really daunting. I mean, you have to basically say to yourself that you are going to practice being completely still, completely mindful, completely calm, all on your own back, and that is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, a lot of meditation experts, people who have been doing it for a really long time, will tell you that you don't need a guided meditation, and maybe you don't, maybe they don't. I mean, you can do a self-inducted sort of proven version of doing it by yourself perfectly fine, and it'll go really well, and you'll practice, you'll get used to it, it'll go great. But it's hard, it's a lot of effort, and I think people like to start somewhere that's a little bit easier. Still, gonna tell you about it. So the first kind that I ever learned about was to let all of your thoughts come to the very front of your mind and then paint over it. So what you basically do is take a big paintbrush, white, blue, whatever sort of color you want, and when your thoughts all crowd into this big space in front of you, you're going to paint over them and basically cover them up so that you don't have to think about them anymore. They are gone. That was taught to me when I was in elementary school. I will have been like 9. And it was by one of my teachers who had converted to Buddhism. So they just wanted to give us a taste. They told us what to do to begin with, and then they asked us all to sit in silence with our eyes closed, try to do this, and then 5 minutes passed and they rang a bell and we were done. Now, as you might imagine, lots of 9-year-olds didn't want to do that, and it wasn't exactly super useful back then. But I did use it a lot when I was going through some of the crazy stuff that I talked about in the last video. When a whole bunch of stuff was going on in my life, when it was super, super, super crazy, and I couldn't do anything, it was something that I tried to do, pushing all my thoughts to the front of my head and covering them up. It worked a little bit, but I actually don't think that it was a great idea anymore. If you have kind of a normal life, maybe it is a perfectly good idea. But it was a little bit hard for me, and I think that it probably made some sort of repression issues a little worse. So, there you go. What most meditations kind of suggest you do, rather than just covering up your thoughts, is to acknowledge them, accept that they're valid, say, that's cool, but don't dwell on it. Don't try and lean into it, look into what's going on, why it came up. Just go, okay, that's how I feel right now. Thank you, and let it go. It's probably a lot easier, well, not a lot easier, but a lot more useful for you when you're starting out especially. And if you've got any of these big issues going on, just accept them, let them go on, and keep trying to focus on stillness. Yeah. Okay, so you can also do breathing techniques. That's a kind of meditation that isn't sort of all the way there. It might help you with a meditation, but lots of people wouldn't count it as one just by itself. So there's counting methods. You breathe in, so you go in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 8. That kind of thing. You'll hear a lot of those in yoga, things like that, and they are super useful. I mean, feeling the breath and focusing on the breath or your heartbeat or anything that's in your body like that is a really good technique. Personally, I tend to end up feeling like as my body moves with the air, I'm rocking a little bit, kind of like on an ocean, on a boat. Maybe that makes some of you seasick, but for me, that's a very calming sort of image, and it helps a lot. There you go. Other sort of meditations are much more likely to be guided to begin with, but then once you get used to them, you can do them by yourself. So if you are somebody who believes that a fully self-registered, self-pushed, self-effort meditation is the only way to go, then maybe try a guided meditation, get used to it, and then do it by yourself, because that is still a self-guided meditation, but you're learning a new skill. You never know. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple of different ones. So there's body scan meditations, and then there is visualization meditations. Now, body scan meditations basically are very similar to that whole feeling the breath or the heartbeat, but you're pretty much going to be watching the entire part of your body. So where your body touches the ground, how your body, the nervous system feels, how it feels connected to itself. A lot of body scan meditations are really quite quick. I would definitely recommend looking for a longer one. The best one that I have ever done is, I think, 35 minutes long. Which might seem a little bit odd just to check out where your body is. But I think you spend about the first 5 minutes just focusing on one of your big toes, which sounds super weird. But if you put all of your energy and all of your focus into one big toe, then you can feel it buzzing a little bit, tingling a little bit. It's really, really weird. And then once you've got all your energy there, it's a lot easier to move that energy very slowly up your body, rather than trying to focus on a big area and move really quickly, because I think you miss some stuff. Basically, it'll point out where you have any aches or pains, stuff that you might not be really focusing on, but also a lot of physical sort of aches and things like shoulder pain, all about stress. So it's something that you can kind of learn about and figure that one. Visualizations. So I love a visualization meditation. I think they're amazing. You can find loads of them on YouTube. I am not powerful enough to do one yet, but hopefully I will. Who knows? At the moment, I really, really love Jason Stevenson. He's got a whole bunch of ranges of them. I prefer the guided meditations to his sort of sound baths, but both are really lovely. Basically, in a guided meditation, you're gonna get something out of it. So either it'll be about focus, it'll be about accepting yourself, it'll be just working on that sort of subconscious feelings that you have by basically going into a very calm place, following a little story or journey, and then focusing on what that means for you. So whether that's hey, so what do you see when you come into this cave and it's supposed to be your dream life all on the screen, or it's gonna be what your spirit animal is. There's one that's really good. It's in a book called Animal Speak, and somebody converted that one onto YouTube as well. The voice is a little robotic, I think it's synthetic, but it is still a beautiful meditation. Yeah, so those are super useful. Now, I would definitely recommend going for a visualization guided meditation to begin with, because it is like a story. If you don't have time for that, try just doing a breathing one. Again, yoga, it's all throughout there. Your breath is connected to your mind is connected to your body, everything's this sort of flowing. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. think about it, anxiety attacks, you forget to breathe. So being able to control your breath stops the anxiety attacks. Well, sort of. We'll go into that again another time. So yeah, those are sort of the different kinds of meditation techniques that I've come across so far. I love all of them. I mostly do guided meditations at the moment. I'm still sort of learning, but I am kind of slowly getting to a point where, like I said, I do the wave technique with my breathing by myself, and it helps me to relax, it helps my brain to focus, and I am slowly learning to clear my mind. I guess that's what the guy really meant by paintbrushing over. You just want a nice blank canvas at the end of it. But there you go. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful. Feel free to comment, subscribe, even give me a like if you want to. Love you lots. You're part of the world. Bye!